5 kids would be fine. But whatever that they.
What the heck? More homework?
And that is like inconvenient for, so the section is like 35, 36.
Negligent infliction of emotional distress without due process is a violation of the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment. The plaintiff, Ms. Udalova, suffered from significant emotional distress due to the egregious amount of homework assigned by the defendant. The plaintiff also experienced fear and sorrow when faced with a 280-point test worth more than 25% of her grade that she was not fully prepared for. She was deprived of her liberty, as the sheer amount of work she was given made it impossible for her to do anything but her homework. The school, as a part of the state government, cannot assign this much homework without substantial due process. As such, this is a clear infraction of Ms. Udalova's 14th Amendment rights. Let's go meet her now.
Wait, yours looks good. Like, look at mine.
And here we have our two judges. Judge Ryu, the originalist, is a supporter of the original structure of the Constitution and believes that the Constitution should be interpreted as the framers intended. Judge Bellino, on the other hand, is a judicial activist. She believes in interpreting the Constitution according to the changes of the modern day.
When the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment was introduced in 1886, the original framers had no intention of protecting students from excessive homework.
While this is true, the framers cannot predict predicaments such as excessive homework. There are loads of important issues that are not directly addressed in the Constitution that are still extremely important to take care of. Homework in this case is one of them!
Forgiving homework, if we thought the workload was excessive, a conviction most certainly is.
Forgiving excessive homework.
Excessive homework? Kids these days are so soft. In the era the Constitution was written, the framers had to walk uphill in the snow both ways.
When I heard Judge Ryu say that the Constitution had nothing to do with excessive homework, I almost fell out of my chair. These kids were up until midnight doing their homework and she's saying it's no big deal? Give me a break. Students are drowning in work, especially Ms. Udalova over here, and we're just supposed to sit here and pretend it's normal?
What I'm saying is very simple. The Constitution...
Oh, here we go again.
The Constitution doesn't mention homework.
It also doesn't mention the internet. Somehow we figured that one out too.
Judge Gualino wants to rewrite the Constitution every time she doesn't like something. Today it's excessive homework, tomorrow it's some sort of mandatory nap time for teenagers. When does it end?
You keep hiding behind a document that was written 200 years ago.
And you keep treating it like it's some sort of rough draft.
Because society changes.
The law doesn't change because you don't want to do algebra.
This isn't about whatever math Mr. Esor is giving Ms. Udalova. This is a matter of him giving excessive homework that makes students lose their sleep, miss family dinners, and make them stress out before they're even old enough to drive. The fact that he thinks that over 60 problems for homework is acceptable is shocking to me. If giving worksheets were an Olympic sport, Mr. Esor would be a 7-time Olympic champion.
Judge Gualino thinks every little thing is a constitutional crisis. Next, she'll argue that pop quizzes are cruel and unusual punishment and that they violate the 8th Amendment.
In this situation, you can see that our two judges have two differing judicial ideologies. Judge Ryu is an originalist who believes in judicial restraint and that the law should follow the original intent of the Constitution. On the other hand, Judge Gualino stands more for judicial activism and believes in a dynamic Constitution whose meaning adjusts to the current times.